My darlings, sweethearts, beloved ones, today we'll discuss Viktoriya Bonya. 2 or 3 years ago I made a full video about her on YouTube, so watch it there if interested. Of course, I'll focus more on her relationship with her daughter because that was getting millions of views. Those reels were doing really well and I didn't really touch on this aspect in that video, so I'm going to talk about it now. And overall we'll go over her personality type, which definitely deserves special attention, its own video. A second, a third, a fifth, and even a 20th one. Because this girl is extremely bright, charismatic, interesting, a leader, yes, and she really knows how to speak vividly, so you could listen to her for hours, right? A gifted speaker and the highlight of the show.
Leonardo DiCaprio has a party every year, Leonardo DiCaprio parties. It takes place at a villa.
Have you been there yourself?
Yes, of course, Alex and I were there. And you socialize, it's normal. And Leonardo is sitting here. Here is Alexandra Ambrosio. Here are these people. Here are those people. And everyone is kind of moving around. Let's go to the yacht tomorrow. Lunch is there. Okay, let's go.
She fills the space around her, and every time everyone listens to her with their mouths open. She has a huge number of interviews, really. There are a lot of them, and they're quite diverse, but more or less she highlights her key points. There's climbing a mountain, an ascent, and then her own ayahuasca experience. I'll say right away that's a narcotic substance that's banned in Russia and in many other places too. And for me, by the way, it's still a big surprise how a person has been promoting narcotic substances in Russia for so many years. She gets away with everything. Someone will likely mention this in the comments.
What does ayahuasca do? They call her madre, which means mother in Spanish, so she heals your soul, heart, and body. And padre, that's actually the cactus. It balances your entire endocrine system, all your hormones, and normalizes them. I also get vaccinations like the ones on my legs where certain spots are burned. There's a frog like that. In the Amazon, they catch this frog too. It's called kamba.
What do you think? Maybe she has some relatives somewhere, I don't know, in the government. Why is it only Viktoriya who does this? Bonya can do anything. Sobchak gets away with everything, almost everything. And Bonya too. I mean, she literally advertises narcotic substances every other day.
A lot of people write to me about the ayahuasca retreat. We will have it at the end of June on the 28th, and accordingly we still have spots available. If you want, join us. It will be divine. I will be by your side. I will guide you. We will have San Pedro Bufo ayahuasca. This will be the most powerful retreat.
She is telling how wonderful it is, how amazing it is. Come on, everyone, come to me. I'll feed you, give you some mushrooms, ayahuasca. There's a wild list of all this stuff. And she gets away with it year after year, year after year. It's just phenomenal, really. Moreover, she's invited to some real shows that are government-funded, sponsored on VK. In my opinion, there are also many, many different television shows, not just on the internet, but outside of it too. I mean, it's amazing. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because honestly, I don't really understand how this is even possible. But she manages to do it. She knows how to make friends. She's extremely diplomatic. She avoids conflicts well, and she can enter confrontations gracefully. Moreover, she can even turn it into a whole public relations campaign. She never really loses that kind of energy, even though she sometimes lives in Monaco or goes somewhere in Europe. She manages to keep this special interest in herself and has a multi-million audience. I don't know how many of those millions are bots, people from India and so on. We haven't checked that. But judging by the fact that she was on Dom 2 for quite a long time, first as a participant, and then she was always kind of at the peak of that fame, it means she managed to do it. Accordingly, when you have a lot of publicity, it's not that hard for you to add some kind of business to it. But apparently this business was failing because she started it very brightly. I'm selling jeans. I have this wonderful company. Where are these jeans now? I'm selling cosmetics. Where are these cosmetics? After some time, I'm selling something else. It doesn't matter, underwear and so on and so on and so on. But at the same time, she has this endless trail that constantly follows her. And it doesn't just follow her for no reason. There is a certain group of girls, so to speak, well known on Instagram, whom many of us follow. Because they live quite a bright, interesting and beautiful life. It's endless yachts, the endless French Riviera, banquets, red carpets, and there aren't that many of them. These girls are escorts, they're prostitutes. And Viktoriya Bonya is always there. She's always with them. It's a big question what she's doing there.
Could you say you did escorting but without sex?
No, I can't say that. That was the only meeting like that in my life. But that would also be considered escorting. No, it's not escorting if it was just once. It's not escorting. No, look, it was a business meeting.
Every time she says, I'm going to the United Arab Emirates for business, I have business there, and Rozhetova goes there too. Yeah, they have some kind of special business there, and a couple of other girls too. Everyone has some kind of business. It's very interesting. And of course, that's very typical for antisocial personalities. So she's a bit of a sociopath in what way? It's pretty easy for her to detach from her own feelings, to keep things on a superficial level, and to be friends with everyone on that superficial level is literally easy for her.
I have people I meet online. I see some girl on Instagram. I write to her. I just can't help but write. I like her so much. Just recently, I met a girl. I invited her to my birthday. We hadn't met before that. Then I have another friend like that whom I also just saw on Instagram. Sometimes it just happens and we become friends. I mean,
where does this kind of ease in communication come from? She instantly makes these kinds of friendships, can easily say goodbye to people and move on. Basically, she can be pretty pushy and bold, stepping over others. I mean, she does it easily. She easily breaks the rules left and right. Again, when it comes to escort services, when it comes to selling and distributing, not selling, well, yes, selling and distributing drugs, she's actually selling her own tour. Yes, to go with her on all these retreats, to drink, to lick frogs, to drink ayahuasca. That's exactly what she does.
our next retreat is from May 7th to 11th. It's called DNA activation. Scientists have already proven, it's scientifically proven, that ayahuasca can, let's say, heal DNA.
And all of these are antisocial actions, but a social person is, someone like this. Yes, of course, there is a partial histrionic component, because why is it present? Why can't we say that this is a pure sociopath? No, there's also a hysterical woman present, showing the female histrionic element. This is that belief, yes, in all these substances, in some kind of special magic, that if she drinks all this now, her third eye will open. She saw Madra there, said something to her, and then she went to some other worlds. She took something there, some kind of ritual. And it's not just that I'll sit down and lie, although there's a lot of lying in her. She loves to lie and exaggerate, yes, and to show off everything that she isn't, everyone she isn't. But besides everything else, when it comes to all of her stuff, well, her peculiarities, she truly doesn't believe in it sincerely. Why is she so good at public speaking? Why is she so great at selling it? She actually has quite a large pool of admirers, those who follow some of her ideas, who share her beliefs and convictions. That's really the case because she is truly immersed in it. It's sincere for her. Yes, it's her inner motivation. Not because she thinks, let me sit down and deceive a large number of people. No, she truly believes in it. She lives it. She breathes it. She has somehow coexisted with it for a long time.
You can simply live and you can share this information, and you are on completely different vibes. But for me, this is important. I have come to this. I believe that in such a conscious state, thanks to all these processes that I do, thanks to my 10 years of experience, I work with ayahuasca.
This also applies to her ascent of Everest. We can definitely talk about a kind of escape, even an escape from something very difficult. If you pay attention, many people who have gone through something unpleasant, and I don't know what Viktoriya Bonya went through or experienced in her childhood, maybe yes, in her youth, something not very pleasant. And this pain, a person tries to overcome, to live through, to process, to understand, by overcoming some unimaginable obstacle. And surely you can remember a lot of movies where, for example, right now I recall a really good movie, where the mother didn't turn off the gas, didn't shut off the gas. She lived alone with two twins and she poisoned them with that gas. So she woke up in the morning and found her two daughters dead. It destroyed her so much, this pain consumed her so much that she was forced to go into a mental hospital. She couldn't killed, she did. She went somewhere into some forest or some mountains. She could kill, she could have killed her, could the mother herself became a mother herself a mother, to drink this house. She was dying of this hunger, barely survived that she couldn't stay in this terrible guilt and bear this grief. And I am not about overcoming this. It's like a way to cope and to cope and to kill her with my very heavy, unbearable feelings. As if only in this something very, very painful in this kind of thing. For example, all kinds of pilgrims, for instance, in Mexico, we have a town called Taxco, and a large number of pilgrims go there. And they, especially the men, take a whip, a really harsh whip, and just go, and the Son of Jesus. With the same harsh hooks, they whip themselves on the back, meaning they walk the path of Jesus, his suffering, and whip their backs. I want to ask, what have you done in this life that makes you want to punish yourself so much? And there, it's just blood, chunks of flesh, the skin is torn. Yes, in fact, she does exactly the same thing. It's extremely harmful for the body to endure such overloads. Crazy. I was at 5.5 meters above sea level. It's very hard. I mean, you can't stand still. You get really dizzy. You just fall to the ground. And in order to stand there, you need to carry special oxygen tanks and oxygen masks with you. It's harmful. You start developing altitude sickness. You get terrible headaches. It's really hard. But she's not going to my 5.5 meters. She's going to where it's 6 meters, 7 meters, 8 meters above sea level. Help me out, write to me what the highest point is, like Everest, how high Everest is, and that's exactly where she's heading, right into all that suffering and hardship. Of course, it's truly a beautiful view, and there's an equally beautiful view at another altitude. It's not necessary to climb that high. There's no need for it. The whole point here is actually about overcoming, about this painful long journey. There she goes for 48 hours with that backpack without sleep. She grabs a bite to eat somewhere, keeps crawling on. Her lips are blue. She's shivering in that tent. This is not staged at all. Some people write, oh yeah, it's all staged, but that's not true. It actually has a deadly effect. She's competing. That's how it is. Do you know how many people die every year? Those who try to climb Everest, and how it ends for them? Moreover, they can't be rescued by helicopter. They try to get them out somehow. But basically, those bodies just stay there. So year after year, the number of bodies increases. And even those who are climbing can see them. There's the skeleton of one person. There's the skeleton of another. Endless things like that, not even real graves. Snowfalls, wild winds, and cold. In general, she has a need for this, and this need is something greater than herself, let's put it that way, something greater. In order to survive, she needs it, and to feel at least somewhat comfortable, just living is not enough. So having a few of these ascents a year is what allows her to permit herself this. She breathes, it's like an inner breath, as if, but it's already impossible any other way, it's impossible any other way.
And laughter.
Someone is doing some other things over there. For example, I tell myself that I'm going to a conscious bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism cosmetologist, and I endure these needles. I endure these needles because you even feel some kind of relief, like you had this heavy feeling of guilt that you didn't do something, that you should have done it. And why? Okay, some kind of anxiety, and you went to the cosmetologist for conscious bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism, you just collapsed. And even regardless of whether there's anesthesia, I'm a very sensitive person, like hypersensitive. Everything hurts me, it's wild, everything is just awful for me. And I lie there and bravely endure it, bravely. So, if you want to do conscious bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism, and bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism, definitely has to be conscious. I doubt that her rise is conscious. I suppose she just explained it to herself differently, that she sees things another way. She looks at all of this differently. And now let's look at this aspect. I think I've already talked about personality, right? So she's very much a girl, charismatic, interesting, a bright leader, hardworking, diligent, really smart and sensible. But she also has a sociopathic vibe, giving the impression of a troubled background and someone rough around the edges. Why her, actually? Even though she wrote to me, I even showed you that comment. Woman, why are you telling me that grandpa didn't accept, but didn't accept me? That's her husband's father. Yes, he didn't accept her, not her husband. By the way, she wasn't actually married to him. That's Alex's father. She and Alex had a wonderful daughter who is deeper, more intellectual, a more interesting girl. Well, Bonnie still has a bit of a reputation as some cheap floozy, but the daughter doesn't have that at all. The daughter definitely takes after Alex. She's a copy of her dad. She got those qualities from Alex. The blue blood, that nobility, and the girl is very interesting. She succeeded. And since she noticed in the first 2 or 3 videos that they were getting a good response, she started actively encouraging her to do it. Indeed, those reels were getting almost 20 million views. People were watching them very actively. Now I think it's all fading away. It's clear that this isn't a long-lasting story and eventually people will forget about her, but in any case, she manages to catch the hype and ride it for a long time.
By the way, a lot of people subscribed. 800,000 people subscribed to me in just a month and a half. And really, there was such strong interest in our simple little picture where Enjik and I are just being ourselves.
Yes, it goes through changes. Today, people see that we have a kind of crush of family and there are mixed feelings about that. I love encouraging my children to speak and be themselves as shown in the picture over the past month and a half. So many people subscribed in just a month and a half to watch our simple life with Enjik, just being ourselves. Should you encourage your children to be filmed or not? Or should you wait until they reach adulthood and decide for themselves? Because at 15 they still don't understand. Maybe he only thinks he wants it, but in reality he doesn't. What can you say about this? And honestly, the videos were quite interesting. I personally enjoyed watching them, where she and her daughter discussed some everyday topics.
Are those my watch, Angelina, my bracelet? Did you seriously go to McDonald's wearing my bracelet and watch, Angelina? Give them here. This is Cartier, the watch. Seriously. You? Angelina, now this is already...
Okay, I get it. The shoes, the bag. Come here. You know, they could rip your hand off, you know, with that watch on your child, Angelina.
This is Monaco. I'll be fine.
Monaco, I'll be fine. Give it here, please, and never touch my gold things again.
And right now I will have only my own feeling about this whole situation because I don't know what is really going on. I know that my daughter is studying through online education. She is getting it, but it's terrible when a child at this age receives online education for a long period of time. And this isn't some kind of COVID, it's not some illness, the child isn't disabled, so why should she have to get an online education? With a father like that, with a grandfather like that, who, by the way, didn't accept her, not his daughter, nor his so-called daughter-in-law, because she has this escort reputation, there's this kind of stigma about her, there's just something about her. She didn't like that phrase, well, not blue blood, not part of our elite. Well, it's like their son got himself into some kind of mess and now there's no way to wash it off. I don't think they were very happy about it. It doesn't matter what happened with Dumatu or who she was with, he was her partner then. Was it Solnsev or someone else, or not Solnsev? Who was she with? Who did she have a relationship with? Write to me in the comments. Not Solnsev. Solnsev is some gay guy. There was another one. Yeah, and this one was Stasik. Right? Who did she have a relationship with? She was exposed by Vodonaiva. I mean, Vodonaiva showed this photo. Not a photo, but Vodonaiva showed this video and photos where they were having sex. I can still see him in my mind, and then they called him, and then apparently Sobchak started sending all of this to Papa Alex. Please write in the comments how it happened, the chronology of events, because this is the exact moment of who gave what to whom. I know for sure that Vodonaiva took all of this out and showed it, and Sobchak, I think, had already sent it to Papa Alex. But maybe that wasn't it. It was just the last conference, the last straw, because after that particular incident, she stopped appearing on those red carpets, and Sobchak was so jealous, she just totally lost it. That Bonya is endlessly hanging around on those red carpets. Just amazing, beautiful magazine covers where it's her Alex, her daughter, or her Alex, and she's pregnant. Well, it sounded like some kind of fairy tale that Bonya, like Cinderella, entered this beautiful, bright life. And now it will all last forever, and everyone just died of envy. I remember this moment very well, and this little worm, it was like the last straw, and that was the end of it, that's all. Well, Alex was a very young guy at that time. He wanted this bright, carefree life. Maybe he still does. He just wasn't ready then. He didn't need any of this. And on top of that, these so-called European equal relationships. What? She says she had to pay for the maternity hospital herself. How is that acceptable when your man isn't even willing to pay for your childbirth? It's like, you pay for electricity, I'll cover gas, let's split utilities and the restaurant bill. And for Europeans, that's pretty normal, so they don't always suit us, so to speak, with our mentality. Husbands. Yes, you really have to think it over many times, even though European wives often write to me from Europe. Veronica, no, my husband is very generous, he's French, and he pays for everything for me everywhere. Or, Veronica, my husband is German, is everything okay? Write to me, girls, those of you who live abroad, who married Europeans. How generous are they? How stingy? What do you deal with them? What would you like? What do you feel is missing? So here she didn't quite manage, so to speak, to snag herself a good man. Alexei is such a handsome boy, and they have such a pretty little girl. And as for this relationship with her daughter, what I don't like, first of all, I really don't like this sense of abandonment. And here I don't even know how abandoned this child really is. Right now, I'm just speaking on the level of feelings. There's a sense of neglect. She's always wandering around somewhere, hanging out with some girls. She studies online, and we all know perfectly well what studying online is like. Yes, especially during adolescence, there's a feeling of being an abandoned child. And I feel incredibly sorry that such a smart girl, I can see she's genetically very deep and interesting, was born to such a promiscuous mother. And what's happening today isn't good. It could actually have a negative impact on her. It might be better for her to live with her dad, but I'm not sure if he's willing to take her in permanently or just occasionally. It's like neither parent really wants the child. Somewhere out there, she's wandering around with her friends, drunk, ended up in the hospital. Well, do you understand what it means to end up in the hospital drunk at that age? How is that even possible? They had to pump her stomach there, so I imagine she's already running around somewhere, maybe even smoking. I've never caught her with a cigarette. But if she's already ending up in hospitals drunk with poisoning, then I can assume she's probably smoking too. I have no idea about her intimate life either, but I wouldn't be surprised, and that's sad. You have an only daughter, your only child, so why is she in such strange circumstances?
Angelina?
Where? Tell me honestly, where did they go if I can't find mine? Alexander McQueen, the new shoes I bought.
Didn't buy.
Where did you sell them online?
Sold.
Who did you sell them to online and for how much?
300.
300 what?
Unbelievable.
Angelina, those were new. Those were the new shoes you bought for $700. You sold them for $300. What kind of profit is that?
Yes.
I understand that there's money involved, but what is this endless stealing? You stole my things. Why did you sell them? I mean, she's raising her child in her own image. She's a complete sociopath, and she's making her daughter the same way. So originally it was good biology. It was good biology that you took wonderful genetics from Alex. That's it. Just invest a little, first of all, emotionally, your time, spend some of your inner resources on this. Well, it's an abandoned child. Please write in the comments if you see this situation exactly the same way I do. I really see that she's already raising her child to be some kind of slut, just like herself, and that's sad. Girls, don't do this if you have a daughter. Keep in mind, a teenager should be busy 24 hours a day. They should come home from their activities, just have dinner, smell nice, collapse from exhaustion, and fall asleep right away. In the morning, they get up, have breakfast, go to school, come back from school, have one practice, then another practice, a tutor, another tutor, and then the next practice. A child can't just wander around Monaco with her friends from morning till night. That's not normal. It shouldn't be like that. That's a path to a very big problem. A teenager, listen to me, all the moms who are raising teenagers right now, teenagers shouldn't have free time. Teenagers should be busy, always busy. It could be playing the piano. She should definitely have that, or maybe Spanish, German, French, or English. She sits with a tutor, does her homework, she's at school, then she has some gymnastics, swimming, and spending time with her parents. No girlfriends. What girlfriends are you talking about? At her age, she can meet with a girlfriend once or twice a month. On weekends, they can go to the movies together. But not like it happens with Bonina's daughter. So I keep seeing the same thing. She's so relaxed, comes in with that chewing gum, with yet another girlfriend, and it's like this every day. There she is, that made-up face, wearing all those trinkets, and off she goes somewhere again with that girlfriend. And it's sad. My dears, write to me. Let me know how much what I'm saying resonates with you. Yes, what's going on? Where is that old man, Alex's dad, looking? It's not really clear. Or maybe they decided that he's some kind of bastard somewhere out there. It's completely unclear. We don't need this. It's not ours. Just disown him and throw him out, right? Like some kind of vestige. It's unclear what could be going on in that old man's head. I think this is Alex's only child. Yeah, I don't know if there are any other children or if there will be any more children. But this kind of strange attitude, in my opinion, even cruel attitude toward his granddaughter, how is that even possible? So what else can we say about Bonechka endlessly? She's hanging out with those info scammers, yeah, kissing up to them, always trying to scheme something nasty with them. And then there's this Kosenko, who's already wanted by the police and has a crazy number of criminal cases against him. She goes to Kosenko again and again for yet another interview. So, to what extent? Well, since she has this clearly pronounced antisocial radical side, for her, this is completely natural. It's normal. Yes, drugs, prostitution, information fraud. We don't shy away from anything. Everything goes into the mix. Money doesn't smell, and you can sense that. They don't let anyone else say a word. When she comes in for an interview, her presence fills the entire space. I just watched the interview they did together with Svetlana Bondarchuk, and Bondarchuk usually likes to chat herself. She takes the lead. She seems to be in the role of the interviewer, but instead of giving the guest a chance to speak, she fills the airtime herself. But this time she couldn't do that. She had a guest like that, yes, a real star, walked in and sat down. And she doesn't let Bondarchuk say a word, just as Bondarchuk tries to say something about herself. Right away she says, Sveta, you're so beautiful, and instantly with that phrase she shifts the attention and turns it back to herself.
I don't feel that, because it's not in you. That's why they tell you that you're beautiful. And it's not even about your appearance. You're incredibly beautiful. But it's about that inner energy, about the light that always comes from you. It's no coincidence you were named Sveta. By the way, and I'm saying this sincerely, honestly,
I'm telling you, I have goosebumps. Yes.
these aren't just words. To invent something,
She does all of this very skillfully and cleverly. She really manages to pull it off extremely well. She's a very manipulative girl. She's very good at the art of seduction, and moreover, these are more like innate skills. Yes, attracting male attention, she'll have that for the rest of her life. Actually, the only thing is that by old age, she'll probably look like a completely crazy city woman. There's this trend because everyone who gets into ayahuasca and those frogs, they don't end up very well. Their stories all have pretty much the same ending. She keeps saying, it's medicine, it's the first time, it's medicine.
it's medicine. It's a remedy that has been used for thousands of years in Latin America. And in Peru specifically, it's considered a cultural heritage.
In Peru, medicine there, the mortality rate is extremely high, just like in India, people are dying like flies in Peru. Why, if they have such wise shamans, if their medicine is so great, if everything you say cures cancer, cures everything, all troubles, misfortunes, hardships, diseases, everything is healed in an instant?
I've had cases where people were cured of stuttering, depression, antidepressants, infertility, and areas of cancer cells.
For me, ayahuasca is like a panacea. It's truly a real panacea. I believe it's something that can heal all the years.
Look, please, I'm not just talking to Buni right now, I'm addressing all my viewers. Look at the mortality statistics in Peru for diseases under 1 year old. How many children die in Peru? Why can't their medicine save them from this in any way? That's how it is. And what else about my favorite? Well, this endless info scamming, she keeps going down this path. She absolutely loves it. Holding all these endless courses, inviting people to all these retreats. She doesn't shy away from anything in this case. But the girl is extremely interesting. Please write your opinion. How do you feel about her? She had plastic surgery, which I don't like. She really started to look like Oleg Mongol. It didn't make her look younger or more beautiful in any way. In my opinion, it actually made her look older. And now she's basically a collection of anti-advertising. Now you'll hesitate thinking, do I really need this plastic surgery? No, I'll wait another 10 years. At 50, it's probably too early. I need to tighten things here and there, maybe due to gravitational ptosis, but it's fine. I'll manage until 60. Honestly, I just don't like how it looks. Now, for Strelets, the swelling is more or less going down, and it's kind of more or less okay. And Bonnie had implants put in here, and it's not her face. They changed her a lot. It doesn't suit her. She used to be such a beautiful girl. Why did she need to do that? And now she has these implants. And it was a very famous surgeon, the one who operated on Bella Hadid, but Bella was unique. She used to be unattractive. Notice when a woman isn't beautiful and she gets plastic surgery, she becomes beautiful. And they show before and after, before and after, before and after. But this before and after example, in most cases, probably in 90% of cases, really matters. When it was a very unattractive woman, but when it was a beautiful woman, she doesn't just become unattractive. Bonnie didn't become ugly. She just started to look like a woman who had plastic surgery. In places like Boca Raton, there are millionaires and women lounging around, their stomachs untouched. That's how it is. It's unnatural. I don't like it. It was much better before. By the way, write what you think. Now at least she can't say, well, my swelling hasn't gone down. No, 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 not yet. Too little time has passed. It's still too early to draw conclusions. No, it's not too early. Now we can already draw conclusions. I don't like it. I don't like it. Sometimes it's better to have those wrinkles. Sometimes it's better to have eyelids that have sagged a bit, even if there are some jowls and so on. Well, I mean, injectable cosmetology is quite enough, and nowadays there are a lot of great hardware-based cosmetology treatments. Microneedle radiofrequency, for example, is wonderful. I absolutely love microneedle radiofrequency the most, but it needs to be done very well because my cosmetologist, one kept shooting here for me and ended up giving me some scars here. So be careful. She just went brum, 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 boom, boom. And I was thinking, why is she hitting the same spot over and over? And she kept hitting and hitting and hitting. And now I have these little white scars here, so you need to be careful. Which won't go away anymore. Be careful. In general, these cosmetologists can, of course, do all sorts of nonsense like little kitties. You can talk a lot about Bonechka, yes, in general, but she fills up the space so much with herself that it gets exhausting. You kind of want to say, listen, I'm a queen too, I'm here too, come on, listen to my story. But she's like, no, no. And so we cried, we sobbed, it was just like that. And this, we cried, we sobbed. There's a whole type of women who come up with this silly phrase. We cried, we sobbed, and we hugged each other. And then we just started sobbing, something like that. Yeah, and that's just some kind of trait, such a silly one. So, my darlings, what I want to say is that I want to invite all of you to my psychotherapy group. Right now, we have crazy, interesting topics, just insane ones. We're studying Jung right now, and we're about to go through his archetypes. If you're interested in Jung and these archetypes, then of course, yes. I'm looking forward to seeing you because you'll have my video lectures, the exercises, I'll be giving you my wonderful meditations and my metaphorical cards waiting for you. We'll be in touch non-stop, communicating every day in our small private group. And by the way, starting in November, my prices will go up, so if you want to join at the old price, make sure to come. Because those people who joined at the old price will keep that old price. And new people always join at the new price. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, my sweethearts. Until next time.